If you didn't, unfortunately, hit some traffic and I'm running kind of late here, but we are finally live. Fireside chat number 60, actually. So kind of a cool little milestone there. Maybe not as cool as number 50, but it's something. We're still going.
I appreciate it.
As far as stuff going on this week, not a lot that I have to report. We do have the new theme, I guess, for the theme channel, which is WA memes. I know a lot of those have made me laugh. There's been some good ones. So I think that's been a fun one so far. We did have there was the matinee movie night. The first one was last week. Looked like there was a good showing. I was sadly working, or I would have made it. Actually, I'm going to be working this Saturday as well, unfortunately, but it looks like a good showing for that anyway, which is cool to see. Other than that, not too much. I think two things that I'm planning on doing. One, a very sure thing is I don't quite have a title for it, but some kind of little WA lecture series I wanted to do. These would be very introductory things, and my plan was that I would just probably here in Surter Hall jump on Discord and I'd stream it on Twitch and I just kind of talk. I'm not sure how long. It would probably be something like 20 or 30 minutes ish around there. We'll see. And these would kind of be one-off things that I just kind of make an announcement maybe a week in advance when I have it scheduled and say, okay, we're gonna do it at this time, and if you want to attend in person or watch live, you'll know. But then the VOD will be on YouTube and everything for anybody who wants to watch it later. And this would be covering kind of basic stuff like something like, oh, one on House Dippity or House Dane or a specific family maybe, or even like a certain era or maybe some big events, stuff like the Ragnarok. I'm not sure. We've kind of covered that in Fireside, so I don't really want to like retread too much. But mostly, I wanted this to be just very introductory stuff for new members who maybe. The one nice thing is it's something you can listen to while you're playing a game or something, or if you're just bored or whatever, and maybe it's a little easier than sifting through the codex. So that's just an idea I had, something that I'll probably do. And if everybody else wants to do those and has the um, can stream or whatever, I can set the WA channel to host you. We can work it out so I upload those to our YouTube channel or whatever. But for now, I myself am planning on trying to do a couple of those, so I'll try to schedule one here pretty soon. The other thing being the I'm thinking of I actually just reread the whole saga of the Stone Stars because Rand happened to post a link to it, and it just kind of reminded me. I thought, well, hey, I should reread this again so I can remember what I wrote, and it kind of inspired me a little. I'm kind of feeling like writing maybe something pretty significant. I'm not sure if it would be a full saga or not, but it's kind of got my gears in my brain turning in that regard. So if anybody has any ideas that they would like to see me write about, I'm open to that. But I think I might kind of come up with a few different options myself, and then maybe kind of shop it around, see what people think of each one, and kind of decide on one and roll with that. I think is my plan. I don't really want to set any deadlines and then disappoint anybody with that, but I am kind of hoping to get some more stuff written for the new Edda. But yeah, that's kind of it from me. Just kind of those two things that I'm planning on doing. I get a shout out to Lady Frothy again. It's kind of been every week, but he's really been picking up the slack in terms of codex entries. You know, I myself I haven't been doing much besides a little tiny update here and there when somebody requests it. Again, just a reminder: anybody who would like a codex entry made or wants to make their own or needs an update or an edit or anything, just ping anybody in the Scribes Guild, message us, or just post in Shrine of Uko. Look through there, find anything, new entries you want, just let any of us know. Happy to do that. And yeah, I guess that's probably about it that I can see here. So I'll throw it out with that to anybody who has any ideas, questions, updates, queries, thoughts, anything.
Um, Kanungamura wanted me to mention that he has created or is just about to officially finish a new system for Hell's Raiders called the Corsair system, where where it's kind of similar. I guess it's a good mix between like Friggs Norns and Cavastier's Bounty Brew system, where they They do. Oh, Khan, I was just talking about your system. If you want to take over, that's cool, because I just started.
Oh no, you continue. I want to hear what you're saying.
But you never gave me a summary. Anyways, um, um, but his Corsair system, where the Hell's Raiders members will complete certain activities like recruiting a member or posting in roll call, and they'll receive a gold currency for that, and then in the future they'll be able to choose and purchase like trophy items with that currency. Yeah. Con, you should probably add on to that because you never gave me a summary to actually talk about it. So I was just gonna
Yeah,
do.
I realized that like at work, I'm like, oh, like on my break or whatever, when I was writing you or something, I'm like, wait, I think I might actually be home in time for the fireside. So, anyways, yeah. So I'm calling it the Corsair system since, in my eyes, Hell's Raiders in the like lore wise is like, you know, we go behind enemy lines and do stuff. So I thought of this bounty system and award system where you would get, let's say, 10 gold for posting in roll call, 100 for a recruit, or 100 for winning some WA based event. So at the start, it's going to have that. There won't be any ranks within the Corsair system. You'll just be able to compete via gaining gold. Eventually, I'm probably going to roll out a shop system where you can buy certain items or upgrades for your own ship or something. But as of right now, we're rolling out with the bounty system. And then I'll add more onto it at a later time.
Awesome. Well, that sounds super cool. I'm always excited about each of the warband systems, and I think for me, Hell's Raiders in particular, I mean, just like the name and the flag, and what kind of little you've told me about it, Con. I feel like there's a lot of kind of cool lore to delve into. So I think a warband system would be super cool for Hell's. Alrighty. Well, anybody have anything else they would like to go over?
Vest, if you have ideas for what you want to talk about, let me know. I have I don't know how to describe it, like a big framework for all the WA lessons, all the pieces I wanted to do, and basically it's more of a scaffolding. So like as people talk about things, I can fit it in. So if you have like a list of items, I can see maybe where there's fit. And then if you have notes left over, like a script or anything you've condensed, besides the VOD, which we could then link to, if you'd please send that to us, we'll make sure that gets fit within the framework, and a link to the VOD, link to any articles or like scratch notes or anything. Basically, this whole framework is sort of, it basically needs to be a wiki. We need to throw out whatever the old wiki was because I don't think we have admin on that, but think of it as like a giant wiki, right? So you can go from like person to event to other people to other events, from like bios to, like I said, events to the various epochs and what's going on in those, and pre-clan stuff. And so it's less about individual pieces and more about like everything as a whole. Because if someone gets interested in something like, oh, who's Vest? Oh, he was in this and this and this. Oh, let me look that up. And it just, you know what I mean? It just kind of expands to everything else. So yeah, my point is, as you do these, if you could include the notes, we'll make sure it gets fit in. And then at some point when we decide like where we want to like migrate this wealth of information, maybe we have that discussion. Because I mean, that in itself is going to be a big undertaking.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and honestly, I think probably the first few for me will just be each one about individual house. I think is the plan. I haven't written any notes or anything yet. So, but
That's
once I
fine.
do, yeah, I'll let you know. And
I mean, I can give you a list of like people, influential members, if that's something. If you're looking for ideas, I can literally hand you a list of like 10 or 12 people, like today, right now, after this is done, as things I've identified. But it's sort of open ended. Like this project I'm doing, it's more of the amalgamation than any one thing, right? So, as people think of things, I'm just kind of like, finding the best spot for it. But I did write down like some names if you want to talk about people, what they're involved in, events, epochs they went through, notable things, any history, yada yada, awards.
Yeah, I mean, feel free to send them to me, honestly, if you don't mind. I think
It's the people who you think they're gonna be. It's gonna be like, you, Bender, Dane, all the Iron Jar, Warrior, Moscow, me, probably White Knights. Take your pick. So it's not gonna be a surprise, but it's definitely like the big names. And I think you do a good job doing like reviews and stuff. Definitely with the treatises, I was very impressed. So pat yourself on the back there.
oh, well, thank you.
Well, thank you. No, seriously, I enjoyed reading them. That was the best part. But yeah, so I'll hand you that. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'm gonna give you access to the framework if I haven't already.
Really brown nosing over there.
Shush. I'm trying to get a bigger effort underway here. All right, don't stop me.
Yeah, I think any suggestions anyone has or just a topic they want me to cover, I think the one distinction I'm probably going to try to make is I feel like, well, Pato's been doing most of them, but it was, I guess it was Rand's initial idea to come up with the Fireside kind of lectures where somebody does a topic. To me, those are kind of something where you go pretty in-depth on something, and it might even be something like not so well known. Whereas I think with mine, first off, they'll just kind of be like one-off random stuff, and the other thing is that my goal, I think, is to mostly do stuff that's very basic and kind of introductory and kind of geared towards brand new members. So sort of the type of thing that somebody could show a new recruit and be like, say somebody. Hopefully we get to a point where like, okay, we've got one of these for like all the major houses and maybe a couple of basic other things. So then you get a new recruit and you could just link them a video, say, oh, hey, welcome to House Commander, here's a little video about him. And a bit part of that too is in the rules channel. We're trying to get House Dane's the last one we need to get the intro for, but just a little kind of pamphlet for each house is what we've got in there that just kind of lists has some lineage charts maybe and symbols, just discusses the basic character and kind of qualities of the house a little bit.
Yeah, that's definitely a noticeable thing, I think, when you go from house to house. So.
Well, awesome. Yeah, I think that'll be cool. And I think yeah, the more resources we have for anything from brand new members just trying to figure out what's going on in WA, or to your lore nerds hoping to read and listen to everything they possibly can about WA, I think it'll be cool to get more and more of that stuff out there. Cool. Well, anybody have anything else they would like to go over this Fireside?
I'd like to bring up from last Fireside the whole Einherjar Day or whatever we want to call it, because we were planning on maybe doing that in the near future during the dead time after events. I was wondering if there was any more thoughts about that.
Oh, geez, I haven't even put any thought into that, to be honest.
Yeah, I honestly haven't either. I suppose we could just kind of pick a day at least would be something, and then maybe.
Well, what was the dead time? What was the downtime again? You said, Vez? We've got the house war
Before the
stuff.
festival, or?
Yeah, I think the plan was to do it in July. I believe was the plan, maybe mid or late July, because that's kind of a dead period.
Now, my question here is: are there any significant days in July for WA that we could kind of hijack?
Well, it depends on what you consider significant. I think you could look at. Honestly, I'd have to research it a little bit, but you could look through. Let's see, the WA timeline is not totally complete, but if you look at WA timeline, I think Volume 1 doesn't have specific dates, if I remember correctly. Let me see. I'm just looking at it right now. WA timeline Volume 2, if we're looking specifically for July, we've got, let's see. There is, let's see, I'm just trying to look. There's a couple things in here that aren't like super awesome, you know, incredible days. If you do look at July 2018, we had a fair bit of stuff. We had the end of the first Yarn Rift. We had on July 3rd was when I gave out 2 titles to Deutschland and Dark Wolf, kind of, you know, after the fact titles, and also we finished renovating the website. So that was sort of a little cool day. We had let's see, the rest of us kind of house specific. There was Rand descending to Lordship of House Dane.
A lot happened in that month. Holy jeez.
Oh, well,
Looking at
so Rand, that was July 19th, 2017, and then the whole
no, but in 2018, there's a lot during the July month.
yeah, and that's sort of more and more recently the better kind of records we have is another thing too. So I included some kind of not so significant stuff here, but still.
True, but still, yeah, I get what you mean.
Let's just check the WA timeline volume 1. Fortunately, obviously not super accurate dates here. Oh! Well, no, we don't have a specific day for this, but 2002 July, Hope's Last Stand was formed. So that is something kind of cool.
That's cool. That could work.
That's probably the coolest one. And also 2003 July is when WA kind of returned, because you know how Saint Rules basically was the guy, he was the last guy left kind of keeping a channel open on old Battle.net, and Dane found him again, and that kind of motivated him. And that was late June that happened, so it was July that basically WA kind of returned to Battle.net, July 2003. So it's kind of a couple of things there, and yeah, unfortunately we don't have like a specific day, but I mean we could use those as themes for it or something like that.
Well, let's go back to the content of whatever we wanted. So we were trying to honor the Einherjar, and it was thrown around that we might be able to like change our names and maybe like, you know, change our avatars to sort of disguise ourselves as our favorite Einherjar and try to honor them.
Also idea, we could have Hope's Last Stand tags. How we have Snow WA, we could do HLS tags.
That would be freaking cool too. Just do we want to do it just in a single day, or do we want the event to last more than one day? Is what I'm wondering.
I almost want to say more than one day, at least for something like like tags.
Well,
I
how about
say that I do remember the HLS tags being used at some point in the last 9 years. I can't remember when, but I do recall that tag being used at some point.
We could do like HLS for like a month or a week or something, and then maybe just for one of the weekends we could do the impersonation.
Well, how about, you know, if let's say we establish this event for future years to come. How about we just do it like the first weekend, not a specific day, but like you know, the first weekend of the month of July. Where
4th of July might be a little busy for people.
Oh, that's a very good point. But I'm just looking at the calendar. We could say, you know, a specific weekend or the first week or I guess the first week it would be pretty busy for any American.
Yeah, I like because we don't have dates for either the HLS founding or
I'm trying to keep it vague, and that's my intention here.
Yeah, I mean, I think having stuff running maybe the whole month of July is reasonable. I mean, do you guys think having something like HLS tags for the whole July month that people want to is like too long, or do you think that's okay?
Well, how long
This
is
is,
snow tags?
I mean, snow tags we do from December 1st to January 15th, so
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe like a period, like a board of review period.
What's HLS?
Hope's Last Stand, which we could talk about all day, but I think you'll find plenty of articles on that, and you can check Shrine of Uko and check the Codex and type Codex Hope's Last Stand, and you'll get a good overview.
I talked about him during the Ragnarok presentation as well.
When are these presentations taking place? I missed half.
After second half of Fireside, we've done a couple so far.
Peep hand.
Well, I guess so. I guess one thing, I mean, so we could do the tags the whole month, and then I guess part of it is we're gonna have to figure out what all celebrations we're gonna do, and then figure out if it's something that we could celebrate for the whole month or something we should have a specific day or weekend for, like the whole kind of cosplaying or masquerading or whatever as your favorite Einherjar. I feel like we might not want to do that a whole month. I think it might get confusing.
Well,
But-
so I like the idea of the tags for the whole month, honoring that month being the creation
Mm-hmm.
of Hope's Last Stand, and because we have only a vague date, right? And then we pick a couple of days in July where we do the whole disguise thing. A weekend. That is what I'm trying to get at.
I think that's reasonable.
I was suggesting this the first weekend of July. Maybe not the best idea for Americans, but if we would go with the second weekend of July, it's still vague, and it's plenty
My
of time.
birthday.
Plenty of times for all of the Americans to recover from their hangovers.
I think that sounds perfect. Second weekend of July, yeah, we can definitely do that. What are we gonna? So the one problem is I think Einherjar Day was sort of the prototype name. If it is in honor of Hope's Last Stand, do we want to call it a festival of the Stand, Festival of Hope, Festival of HLS, something like that? I don't know.
Like Festival of Hope.
Festival of Hope.
That is actually really very catchy and accurate, to be honest.
The one thing I was gonna check is I want to say. Okay, I was just double checking that doesn't the Commander festivals. Let's see, it's Restoration, Victory. Let's see. Festival.
Con, chime
New
in here. You
Beginnings.
should know this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there's no festival.
Kato,
of
aren't
Hope,
you
so.
also House Commander? Shouldn't you know this?
I'm not even an Earl, so.
All right. Festival of Hope. It shall be done. So I guess.
I like it.
Yeah.
To
Well.
be fair, I didn't make the festival. Solios did.
Yeah, actually, Soullight and Fold did. I believe it was for Fold's night training as a Knight of the Imperium back that they came up with that, if I'm not mistaken. But cool. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, maybe we'll leave brainstorming any further stuff to do. I mean, we've got the tags, and then we can kind of figure out exactly how dressing up or whatever, picking up your favorite Einherjar works, and kind of the specifics of that. Maybe you can talk about that in the All Thing or next Fireside or something like that. But cool. I think we've got a name and a date and a decent idea of what we're doing. So
I'm just going to throw this out here. I expect everyone to be toting pigeon avatars come next festival. Just say it.
jeez. I forgot you're an Einherjar. Can we cancel this? Can we just call this off?
that is kind of a cool thing. I think is
I forget I'm an Einherjar all the time.
I hadn't thought about that. How there's kind of going to be, because in my head I was thinking of the whole thing. We're like, oh, everyone's going to pick a different Einherjar, and each person's going to have their own. But then also there's probably going to be a, sort of sort of like teams or houses or whatnot. You're gonna have a whole band of people all picking one, one guy, and then you're gonna have the Kusis versus the I don't know.
Santifico.
Yeah.
Well,
So that could be fun.
See, I gotta pick somebody else that I can't pick myself. So
Hey, I
Take
have an
somebody like you
idea.
to-
Well, I suppose in the past we've sort of frowned upon popularity contests, but you ever see those pages where they have some kind of thing where they have like a big bracket, like say it's like vote for the best TV show or the best band or the best movie, and you have like a
Oh, yeah.
bracket, like a tournament, and there's a winner from each every two until you get it down to the very final two. I wonder if we could do that with all the Einarjar, like a Einarjar tournament or something like that. I don't know.
Leave me out of that.
Somebody needs to win.
I'm just voting Santifico every time.
Yeah, well, just a random idea I had, but
I like the idea, but don't you think that like the year after it's gonna be the same results? Probably.
that is true. The other thought I had with that is that we could add some kind of caveat to the tournament, which is like funniest Einarjar or some other kind of qualities like
clearly, Photon wins.
strongest warrior. I don't know, like sort of adding a lore twist to it.
One who
something like
deleted
that.
the most forums.
Oh,
Oh,
Oof.
that's gonna be a quick one.
When he destroyed the most clans.
In before I go and just delete the forums and then upload my own backup just so that I can beat Warrior. Well, anyway, it's just a random thought I had, but I guess maybe we'll start winding down here. We've actually, I know we started late, but we got a good half hour actually, so cool. And I think we made some progress in the festival, so yeah. But yeah, anybody have anything else? Final thoughts or anything else coming to mind?
I just would like to thank anyone who did show up to the matinee movie night last week. It was a rather nice showing, and if anyone has ideas for the next time, we're taking ideas.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Well, cool. All right. Well, thanks everyone for showing up. Thanks anyone watching the VOD or watching live on Twitch. We will be back next week, next Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. So we'll see everybody then.